Hi everyone, welcome to the Laser channel. My name is Greg, and in this video I'm going to be doing something different. I'm going to be talking about customer work order flow. What is it and why do you need it? Customer work order flow. Now, it sounds a little bit fancy, but it's really basic. And as a customer, if you've ever bought anything, you've experienced it yourself from the person selling you an item or providing you a service. And in short, it's a way to consistently engage and interact with your customers and clients in a consistent and positive manner. It's also a great way to ensure that no details are skipped when providing items or services to your clients and customers. Let's start by breaking the customers down into two simple types. The first one being in person, whether they're visiting your booth or your shop, and the second type of customer being an online customer. Now I'm going to cover the online customer a little bit later on in the video because a lot of the things that I'm going to cover directly relate to the online customer, and there's only about one or two things that differ between these types of customers. The greeting. This is the first interaction that the customer is going to have with me in person. Chances are they've already emailed me or talked to me on the phone. They may already know that my name is Greg, but I want to reassure them when they come up to me for the first time, I introduce myself to them first so that they know that they're still talking to the same person from that phone call or that email. And then after that, I just listen to them. I look at the product that they bring in, and this is a perfect example. I have a client that brought in this wooden paddle, and then I listen to what it is they want to do with that item, if there's artwork, graphics, what type of engraving or cutout that they would like to do. And while they're doing that, I'm just listening and not jotting any notes down. I want to stay actively engaged with them. I want to affirm that, yep, that is all making sense. Now I'm going to take notes down in a separate part while they're filling out some other paperwork. So I will have that documentation, and we're going to touch base on that in just a minute. Paperwork. On customer supplied items, which I do a lot of, all customers must sign a waiver form releasing me from responsibility of their item or the replacement of their item. This is something that everybody must sign. I present the form to them and I ensure them that I have an excellent track record, which I do, and I have reliable, dependable equipment. But sometimes the unexpected does happen. I've never had anything happen, and I let them know that, but this is a form that must be signed. I've never had a customer refuse to sign this form. The contact form. Now, this is a much easier form for the customer to sign. It has the basic information of their first name, their last name, their telephone number, their email, and their preferred method for being contacted, whether it's through texting on the cell phone or by email. And I may also have them fill in their just the city address, just so that I can get an idea of the demographic area of where customers are coming from. While they're filling this form out, it's a great opportunity where I ask them how they heard about me. I also will include a small little section on there that after I'm done with their item, I like to take pictures of it, and if it's okay if I post that on social media or use it as advertising. It's a great way to showcase your work towards other future customers. Deposits and payments. I find with products that cost under $25, I have the customer pay in full upfront. If it costs more than $25, I'll have them put down a deposit that is scaled to the total price. This is something that I do for everyone, and there's absolutely no exceptions. It just really simplifies everything, and absolutely no products are picked up unless they are paid in full. Nothing wastes my time more than chasing down and tracking down customers that have an outstanding balance on an item that is already completed and they picked up. So that's why in my shop, at my store, I have a strict policy that nothing leaves until it's paid in full. Unique items. In the cases of unique items, I like to offer customers a quick mock-up diagram. I'll let them know that I'll take a simple cell phone photo of their item, and then I will take the artwork and just superimpose that in a very basic manner over their item. And specifically on this wooden panel, the customer would like an image across that area. And if there's some question that they're not able to visualize what that will look like when we're meeting in person, I will just take that photo I just took and I'll put the graphic over that area where I think that it would look best, and I will send that to the customer. Again, going back to that contact form on the best way to contact them. Maybe they need that photo text to them, or maybe they'd rather just have that emailed. But this is a great way to ensure that I'm getting the placement of the graphic correct along with the size. And this is a great segue into the next topic. Managing expectations. Be upfront with the timeline that it's going to take to complete the work and what that work is going to look like. And once again, I'm going to refer back to this wooden paddle. When the customer came in, we talked about how the variation and the natural wood grain of that item is going to show up in the engraving. That wood grain pattern will show up in the engraving, and it's sometimes a little bit unpredictable, but that is a key to managing expectations, is sharing with the customer what you feel the final product is going to look like and making sure that that's going to be okay, or if there's something else that needs to be done to make sure that they have exactly what it is they want. This paddle is part of an order of 5, and one of the paddles is made out of pine, and there's a crack through the middle along with some very large wood knots. The customer knew this, and he purposely built the paddle around those defects in the wood because on the customer's end, he wants to know what the engraving will look like through that area. And this was an area that we had talked about on that specific item, and that is again to manage the expectations, and the customer is fully aware of he doesn't know what to expect, and I relayed to him that, yeah, it's going to be a little bit unpredictable, but we had this conversation and this understanding. Performing the work. I've completed communicating with the customer. I know exactly what it is they want for their item. It's now time to take that item and place it inside of the Laser Tool Center and complete the work. Now, this is something that I want to document for future reference on similar projects, or if that customer comes back and has more of the same items. So in a special area on my computer just for clients, I'll create a folder just for that specific individual where I will have their contact information sheet, the waiver form, the file that I use to perform the work on their item, whether that's the Xtool software or Lightburn software. And I'll also write down the specific settings that I use on the laser machine. And if it was a tricky setup to fit the item in the laser machine, I will go and take a couple of cell phone pictures of specifically how I had that item set up in the machine. And again, it's a great way to reference for repeat orders, or if I have an order that comes in that's a very similar item. It's ready. I'm energetic, I'm enthusiastic when I contact the customer to let them know that their item is ready. It turned out great, and I can't wait for them to come and pick it up and check it out. Now, this is the favorite part that I have when running a laser business, is being able to present the finished product to that customer. And oftentimes I'll do it right on this presentation table. I will clean all of the equipment off. I'll put down a nice towel. I'll put their item, and a lot of times I'll put a little cloth over the affected area, the engraving of that item for them, and I let them get up to the table and I kind of read their body language, their expression. If they just want to come by and pick it up, I just go, here you go, and off they go. Otherwise, if they're engaged in it and they're excited about it, then I'll do a big reveal on it. And then I just like step back and I let them take all of that in. After I give them a few moments, I talk about maybe a couple of things that I really liked, how different aspects of their project turned out. Online customers. Much of what I've just talked about is directly relatable to online customers, and there's only really two main differences. The first one being with an online customer, I do all of the billing, invoicing, deposits through an online software program. It's a nice, quick, easy way to take care of any payments. The second area that differs just a little bit is the forms that I have a customer fill out. Now, when I meet them in person, I will have them fill out a paper copy of the contact form. However, when I'm working with a customer online, I don't want to send that as a separate document for them to fill out. That just turns into too much for them to do. So I find I'll just email them requesting that information. It is needed for the invoicing software that I use. And the other piece of paperwork is the waiver form, and that I do send to them. And I do have them sign that electronically so that it is a legal document that is fully documented and fully tracked. It's just a nice, simple, clean way to make sure that everything is covered. And again, that waiver form, I only need that if they're sending me an item that they need to be engraved. If they're ordering something from me that is a stock item, I'm supplying that item. Of course, they don't need to sign that waiver form at all. I hope that you can take and use some of the information that I shared with you in this video. I'd really appreciate it if you leave a like for this video, subscribe to the channel, or ring that notification bell. Doing any number of those things really helps me out. It helps the channel grow, and it helps connect content like this with viewers like you. Until next time, learn, create, and share.